In a small village nestled in the heart of a lush valley, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo was no ordinary child. He was known throughout the village as the little judge. Despite his tender age of 12, Leo had a unique gift. He possessed an uncanny ability to discern truth from lies, and his wisdom surpassed that of many adults. Leo lived with his grandmother, an elderly woman who had once been the village's healer. She had taught him the importance of justice, kindness, and fairness from a very young age. The villagers respected her deeply, and they soon came to hold Leo in the same regard. The village was a peaceful place, where the villagers lived simple lives. However, disputes and misunderstandings were inevitable. When conflicts arose, the villagers would often seek the counsel of the elders. But as Leo's reputation grew, they started turning to him instead. It wasn't long before the elders themselves began to defer to Leo's judgment. One day, a serious dispute broke out between two families in the village. The problem concerned a piece of land that both families claimed as their own. The land in question was fertile and bordered a stream, making it highly valuable. The two families had been at odds for months, and the tension between them was growing unbearable. Desperate for a solution, the village elders decided to hold a meeting and invited Leo to preside over the matter. The villagers gathered in the square, whispering among themselves as they awaited Leo's arrival. When Leo arrived, he quietly observed both families. The head of the first family, Mr. Baker, was a tall, stern man with a deep voice. He argued that his family had farmed the land for generations, and that it was rightfully theirs. The second family, led by Mrs. Turner, was equally adamant. She claimed that her family had purchased the land many years ago, but the deed had been lost in a fire. Leo listened carefully to both sides. After a moment of silence, he asked each family a series of questions. His inquiries were simple yet profound, aimed at uncovering the truth behind the words. Mr. Baker, Leo began, you say your family has farmed this land for generations. Can you tell me how your grandfather came to own this land? Mr. Baker hesitated, then admitted that his grandfather had been granted the land by the previous village chief in exchange for a favor. But the details of that favor were vague, and there were no records to support his claim. Leo then turned to Mrs. Turner. And you, Mrs. Turner, you say your family purchased the land. How did your family come to live here? Mrs. Turner explained that her great-grandfather had bought the land when he first arrived in the village. However, she acknowledged that the deed had been lost, and there were no other witnesses alive to confirm the sale. The villagers murmured, sensing that the decision would be difficult. But Leo remained calm and thoughtful. After a moment, he asked both families to bring forward any witnesses or evidence they might have, no matter how small. Over the next few days, the villagers came forward with bits of information. An old man recalled a story about Mr. Baker's grandfather helping the village chief during a drought. Another villager remembered seeing the burnt remains of an old deed in Mrs. Turner's fireplace many years ago. After gathering all the information, Leo called another meeting. This time, he delivered his judgment. I have heard the stories, and I have seen the evidence, Leo began. It is clear that both families have a claim to this land. However, the truth lies not just in ownership, but in fairness and justice. The land was once given as a gift and bought with hard-earned money. It belongs to both of you. The villagers gasped. How could such a decision be fair?